Well, I wish the title and thumbnail was definitely a lie or clickbait, but unfortunately it is not. The man you're seeing at the start of this video was literally arrested for not committing a crime. I know that's a bit of a paradox there, but that is literally the truth, unfortunately. So I've watched this once over so I can get most of my anger out before I do this a second time around, but I'm going to stay true to my name. I'm going to get very ranty. So I'm going to play this video and pause it and interject at intervals, then I'm going to summarise it towards the end. But yes, a man who was preaching the Bible in Glasgow city centre of Scotland was arrested for causing offence of a homophobic term that was never proven with the offending person who doesn't exist. He was then let go, but then had a non-hate crime incident put on his name, which I'll get into what a non-hate crime incident is once we get to that part of the video. But yeah, let's start this absolute mental health crisis by British police, honestly. Let's go into it.
On the 5th of January 2022, preacher Angus Cameron was arrested in Glasgow. Prior to the arrest, Angus had spoken with another police officer who dealt with the situation reasonably and lawfully.
I understand all you're wanting to do is put your point across and you're taking quotes out the Bible, and I'm not going to challenge you on that.
Right, so the first thing I'm going to say about Scottish police is it used to be the vast majority of Scottish police that you would interact with were, as we would say in Scotland, they were sound as a pound. They were really calm, collective, nothing really bothered them. And even if you were doing something they didn't really agree with, if it's not harming anyone, they would go, just you carry on, mate, it's no problem. However, the UK police as a whole, that's Scotland, Wales, England, and Northern Ireland, and arguably a lot of other countries as a whole, the police force are absolutely beyond woke lefties to the extreme level, and they will just gun at you for the most microscopic reasons imaginable. And this is happening on a day-to-day basis throughout the UK, and it's just getting worse and worse. And again, you're going to see the absolute mayhem start here over nothing.
But later, another PC arrived to question Angus and inform him of a complaint that he had made homophobic comments. She would not say what these comments were, nor was she interested in hearing from any other witnesses.
So we've had a
I'm just going to be a dickhead and say fucking females in police force. I'm sorry, but I disagree with it. The amount of videos that have came out from like Donut Operator or Police Activity or John Career's Active Self-Protection, women just seem to panic in these situations. I just don't even know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to the law. And there's going to be two parts of this woman. We're going to see and hear her right now, and later on in the video, we're going to hear a phone call with the person who was arrested. I understand it's going to piss a lot of people off, but not only are women like struggle in stressful situations or even basic situations like this in the police force, but I think a female trying to get into a physical altercation with a man is just never going to end well. And the fact that even in the UK, there's men that are about 5'4" and about 105 pounds, and they're meant to get into life or death altercations. It's just like, no, I'm sorry. There should be a standard met. Well, I know the police don't have any standards anymore, but a standard should be met to a degree. And yeah, I don't agree with any of this whatsoever. If you want to go check out my most popular video of all time, I predicted Lesbian Nana 2. That just shows you about women in the police force, and also just shows you how fucking beyond woke and psychopathic the UK police are, that they'll drag a 16-year-old autistic girl with severe scoliosis, drag her out of a house with 8 police officers at 1 in the morning because she accidentally called a female police officer a lesbian because the girl's got autism and doesn't know how to translate words into a proper sentence. You know, she just kind of doesn't understand why that might be a little bit of a weird thing to say. But yeah, she got dragged and arrested at 1 in the morning. But again, we're going to see prime examples of this here.
About some of the comments that you've been making, which have offended certain people, about them being homophobic, which is obviously an offence.
Yeah, I'm just going to pause it right there. Sorry, I'm going to do a lot of pausing and talking here. I do apologise in advance, but I've got my Alex Jones tinfoil hat on, which I feel like it's unjustified me having to say it because I feel like I'm just right out of the gate. With the way Scotland's going, with how beyond authoritarian Scotland has become with the SNP in charge with Humza Yousaf, although St Nicholas Sturgeon's been doing this as well, the past leader of Scotland. I think with the way this is going, and I mentioned this in my previous video, I think Scotland is trying to out-China the Hut, and what I mean by that is, I think the Scottish government are deliberately going out their way to become the most authoritarian country on the planet. And I think it's going to end up getting like that within the next 10 or 20 years, and I think Scotland is going to turn into an absolute third world, hellhole, like the boiler room of hell, essentially. But yeah, this is just becoming such more commonplace, Oh, you've said something that is subjective, so we'll just arrest you and ruin your entire life. Again, look at Count Dankula, perfect example of that. He's pretty much patient zero of Scotland for this.
I'd like you to tell me what homophobic comments I'm supposed to have said.
I will, but I'm not going to repeat that right now in the public.
Because you have no fucking evidence, bitch, that's why.
We're now investigating a crime that's been committed.
For a crime, right?
Yeah, saying anything that has anything above the Scoville unit of sea salt, essentially, is a crime now in the whole of the UK, and that doubles for Scotland, if not triples. So yeah, literally anything could be considered a verbal crime, no matter how peaceful. If someone takes offence to it because they're severely mentally ill and they're woke and they're elected, whether that's their LGTV 4K 60 FPS BBQ, use code CHILDRUMOR for 10% off at checkout. People's God, I'm stuttering here. Or if it's Black Lives Matter or climate activists or blah blah blah, so on and so forth, if they take offence to whatever you say, no matter if that was never meant to cause offence, bang, you're off to the gulag in Scotland. And again, that goes for England. Well,
yes, essentially a breach of the peace with homophobic aggravation.
We're preaching direct.
Homophobic aggravation, maybe I'm wrong here, but I think aggravation is more of a physical, action, not verbal, but sure, whatever.
From the scriptures.
Right, but see, as much as you're teaching from the scriptures, people are still offended by that.
Yeah, and also something else I would like to say, and I would fucking love to see the police do this. A lot of people take offence to what's in the Quran, and when the Muslims read that out loud. However, do you fucking think for 1 second if anyone dared put a complaint into the police like this right there in the public space that's happening right now, or someone said, this happened to me earlier, someone's reading the Quran out and I got offended and I have my rights to go get a person arrested, do you think the UK police are going to go and arrest someone for a hate crime from reading from the Quran in public? Fucking God, no, Jesus Christ, there would be deaths for that. But no, when it comes to Christianity, no, you can just bully them about because, fuck it, why not?
Surely it's up to you to investigate whether there's a crime has taken place, rather than just taking a complaint and taking the remarks that has been made by the person who made the complaint.
Sorry, I'm just taking a drink of water.
Taking them as gospel truth. Surely you should be seeking to see if there's witnesses.
Immediately after having his details taken, Angus was arrested. At least 5 officers appear to have been involved.
Yeah, going back to my video that I was talking about, I predicted Lesbian Nana 2. There's one 16-year-old girl who has autism with severe scoliosis because she has autism like I do myself. And I remember being like this when I was 16 as well, because I had to kind of learn to kind of help to process myself a bit when I was thinking and trying to translate into words, right? Like what I just tried to do there. That was a horrible description. But because the female police officer that you'll see in that thumbnail, I predicted Lesbian Nana 2, because she fucking does look like a lesbian, there's no denying it. She said to her, you look like my lesbian nana, which her nana or grandmother is a lesbian. Now, for most of us, we would say, well, that was a bit rude, wasn't it? And we just move on with our lives. But because this autistic girl doesn't really know that might not be the best thing to say for out of context, out of nowhere, but that Wish.com Captain Marvels, I like to call her, the lesbian nana police officer, got so offended she phoned for emergency backup, and there were 78 full-grown police officers there who, I kid you not, ripped her from out underneath the stairs because she was absolutely petrified, rightfully so, for being 1 a.m. and having 7 or 8 full-grown police officers charging into your house and ripping you by force out from underneath your stairs, then slamming you on the ground outside your house. Bear in mind she's got severe scoliosis and probably having an absolute mental fit because of her autism, again, rightfully so, over the fact that she'd accidentally called a police officer a fucking lesbian, which I shouldn't even call her a lesbian. She just said, "You look like my lesbian nana." And again, 5 police officers to arrest one Bible basher, essentially. Like, do you really think Bible bashers are the John Wicks or the fucking Frank Castles of this world, where they're psychopathic, bloodthirsty, killers, that you need 5 people to come and arrest one preacher? Like, it's an absolute fucking joke. Again, that's not the only 2 examples in the UK. There's a fucking plethora of it.
Just step back for me. Can I just ask you to step back as well, please, sir?
Right.
Yes, step back. There's been an absolute terrorist attack beyond human comprehension.
They'll hate you on account of my name, Jesus said.
I'll just put it in his property then, if that's okay, just because I don't know.
After he was released, PC Campbell later phoned Angus to update him on the case.
I'm just going to give you a warning when you hear this phone call. You're going to have an absolute fucking epileptic fit at the level of fucking retardation. God, I'm being retarded, I can't say retardation, but you're going to have an absolute epileptic fit over the level of retardation coming out of this woman's mouth trying to say that, oh, do you know what, I'm not going to ruin it or spoil it for you. You're going to fucking hear it and you're going to cry yourself to sleep.
Confusion remained over whether he was charged or not, and it was officially recorded that he had committed a non-crime hate incident.
Right, so this is the part where I'm going to have to try my best to explain what a non-hate crime incident is in the UK, and this is going to get... Oh my god, this is going to get into the fucking Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness bullshit territory here, right? Oh god, here we go. So, the UK government, authoritarian pieces of shit, right? We all know that. They're absolute horrific people, and they just want as much public brownie points as they can possibly ram down their throats, so to speak, because they're all greedy fat bastards. And one of the things they love doing is pretending they love ethnic minorities or the LGTV 4K 60 FPS BBQ. Use code CHILDGROOMER for 10% off at checkout. People, climate activists, oh look how good I am. And they absolutely beyond despise anyone who goes against the message, as the critical drinker likes to say. And that even includes vaccines and anything else down that line. Basically, if you're a free-thinking individual, you are a fucking Nazi in the eyes of the British government. And because they don't have the balls, because they know it would backfire on them tremendously just to come out and absolutely arrest you or arrest people in masses and slam you into the gulag, what they've decided to come up with is a non-crime hate incident. Now, this is where this gets quite funny, because the UK government has told the UK police, which again, they're in control of, bear that in mind, that the non-hate crime incident that the police can put you on, that's unlawful itself. So the police themselves have been unlawful, and the UK government has told them to stop that and delete it on multiple occasions, and yet it's still ongoing, even though it's so stupid. It's so stupid. And I think the reason why the UK government keep telling their own police force to delete that entire system and the police haven't is, it's just a publicity stunt. That's all it is. It's just like, oh, look, we don't agree with this. Keep doing it. This is what we want. Behind the curtains, essentially. But what is a non-hate crime incident? Fuck me, Jesus Christ. See if you commit what is in the government or police's eyes as a crime, but they don't want to actually go through all the way to a jail sentence, essentially, because the backlash and the revolution that might happen, or basically the civil war that might kick off in the UK, because we would turn into basically China with the level of authoritarian. They'll let you go, but what happens is you've now got a non-hate crime incident on your character. So if you try to go for a job at any point in your future, or anything that you're... Sorry, my brain's wanting to liquidize here. If you're wanting to get a job, or in your future employee, if your future boss is wanting to look in to see if you've got a criminal record, your non-hate crime incident will pop up, which obviously your future or potential future boss would see that and go, fuck that, I'm not hiring that guy who's committed a crime. I want clean, innocent, obeying citizens in my place of work. Which, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to move on. It's so stupid. I don't think I even explained it well, because how you meant to explain a non-hate crime incident. again, title of the video and thumbnail: arrested for literally not committing a crime. That is a paradox law within the UK. Moving on. I'm moving on.
He's put on what's called a hate incident report.
You have received an allegation of a crime, and what you have done is, rather than investigate fully that allegation, you have taken one side of an allegation and decided to have it recorded that I committed a hate incident. What about those witnesses that heard exactly what I said?
Yeah, right, cool. I'm not even putting my tinfoil hat on, and I'm just going to say this because this is fact, even though I've not got evidence of this whatsoever. I guarantee nobody actually put a complaint in, not a single person did. The police just saw him and went, yep, jackpot, fuck it, go for him. And this is not the first time this has happened in the UK. There's been actually, again, it's a really, really weird niche, this, but still, it's been happening a lot in the UK, where people have been arrested or fined for silently praying in their head outside of an abortion clinic. I know that's a really weird niche, but again, if someone's standing on a street corner, which they have the right to, because they fucking paid for it as well, and they pay for the police and everything else with their taxis, right? And again, fuck all of that, right? If you want to stand in the middle of the road and just keep yourself to yourself, fucking within your right, fuck the police, fuck the government, they have no say in that. Well, they do, but fuck them, they shouldn't have. But yeah, people have went outside to abortion clinics, went to pray because they don't agree with the killing of, you know, basically little babies that are still growing. Fair enough, not my thing that I want to get into an argument over. But if you want to do it in a public street, you're not causing any nuisance. You're doing it silently. Boo-hoo, let the person do it. They're, you know, this is meant to be God's free country, essentially, you know, freedom and all that. Fucking Scotland, what a fucking joke that title is. Should have the fucking Gaelic version of the fucking Chinese national anthem at this point. But yeah, this has been happening a lot as well, that they'll just charge at people who, again, if you're saying the Quran, they will not go after you because death ensues when you go after Muslims. But if you decide to do this and you're a Christian in public, yeah, the odds of you getting arrested and charged and fined over fuck and all skyrockets to about 102% chance, hence this fucking guy.
Well, because it's not going, that would be something that the court would want to, they would want all sides of the story. However,
so
that would be something that they would do for the defence side of things, but because it's not going to court, we're not going down that route.
Okay, so
people saying what's happened, they've been offended by it, and that's enough for the crime to be complete.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of contradiction. I know I keep pausing it. It might be hard for you to keep track of it. If you want to go watch the full video, there's a link in the description. So you don't have to listen to me. But yeah, there's a lot of contradicting from this silly fucking bitch on the other end, who's the one that arrested them as well. It's just... So he's not committed a crime, but he's been arrested for a crime, but he's released for not committing a crime, but it is now on his criminal record that he didn't commit a crime for a non-hate crime. And it's like, oh god, what is the UK? It's a fucking joke of a country. Like, it's such... What happens if a paradox meets with another paradox? Is that like a bastard paradox? Like, fucking UK, I don't get it. It's, oh god, fucking left wing's a mental illness, man. Fuck me.
I thought you told me that I had been charged.
Yes, on the basis that it was going to be subject to a report, and I said I would phone you back and just clarify that. So that's why I'm phoning just now to say that what we've left is a report.
Can you clarify and confirm to me that those charges have now been dropped?
It's not, well, no, they've not been dropped in the sense of what I said. So what I couldn't do in the van is I couldn't have not charged you to then try and then come and charge you at a later date once I'd checked what I was going to check. So what I'd done at the time was I charged you and said, right, okay, that as it stands just now until I go and double check, and I said I would give you a phone to confirm what had happened. However, when I came back to the office, I've checked a few things, I've spoken to the sergeants, etc., and we've kind of decided that it's going on as a hate incident as opposed to being charged with...
Oh god, right, I'll get it off I'll get it off that white screen there so I'm not burning your retinas out. But yeah, again, this exact thing that I'm about to talk about has happened numerous times in the UK, and I imagine a lot of other countries out there right now recently as well. They've arrested them. They knew for a fact they were taking the fucking piss arresting the guy. And then 5 of them showed up. And then 5 people for one fucking Irish guy preaching the Bible. Like, just... Oh, fuck me, I'm trying hard not to lose my shit here. It's 5 in the morning, and that storm's outside, there's a tornado outside. But, yeah, 5 of them showed up. They knew they were taking the fucking piss. They knew they wouldn't find anything, so they had to go to the superior who knows the law better to see if they could find any fucking beyond niche dead law to arrest them on. They couldn't find anything. They went, okay, fine, just to release them then, fuck's sake. Fine, we'll just put it down as a non-hate crime incident. We really wanted to send them to the gulag and have a full-blown criminal record because he said a fucking verse from the Bible, but we can't because he hasn't committed a crime. This isn't fair. Like, that's what that just screams to me. Like, I arrested you. I didn't know why I arrested you, so I had to go to my superior to make up a reason, and not even my superior could figure out a reason to justify my unjustification to arrest you. Again, another fucking paradox. Paradox. It's just fucking UK, man, honestly. And you can hear through, she was trying to make sense of it, the woman trying to justify her actions, but she fucking couldn't. And she knew she was fucked, and she still tried to argue it again. Left people who are just beyond woke like this are just willing to die over the most microscopic things imaginable and not willing to go, okay, maybe I fucked up.
All charges pending against me?
No.
No. So, in other words, the charges against me have been dropped.
In terms of going to the fiscal, yeah, but it's still been recorded as such.
So, in other words, then, there's a record of a hate incident against my name.
Angus latest.
Yeah, so because they put, I know I've already said this, but I'd like to try and clean it up a little bit. Because they tried their absolute fucking best to stick a charge on him and they could not find anything. If they tried to fully arrest that guy from the moment, they knew for a fact the backlash would have been diabolical. Like, it would have been lesbian nana moments. Like, that went worldwide. I mean, that went beyond viral in Australia, and this happened in Leeds, England. Like, it went global with how viral that 16-year-old autistic girl getting ripped out of a house at 1 in the morning by fucking 8 police officers. They didn't want to go down that path whatsoever, so they went, just non-hate crime incident then, because we literally cannot even find a little sliver of something we could somewhat justify for putting a charge in this guy one way or another, and that's why they let him go, and that's why he now has a non-hate crime incident where if he ever wants to get a job in the future, he is fucked, because a non-hate crime incident on your name does the exact same amount of damage as having an actual criminal record. So that's him fucked. If he ever wants to get a job in the future, he's fucked. He's absolutely beyond fucked. And if he has got an employer right now and his employer finds out that he's now got essentially a criminal record, he could just fire him and he'd be justified. He couldn't fight that in court or nothing. He's fucked. He's absolutely fucked. And there's over 250,000 people, there's probably more than that now, in the UK that have a non-hate crime incident on their name. In fact, there's some guy in fucking England who now has a non-hate crime incident on his name because he fucking whistled Bob the Builder's theme tune at another man. Again, the UK and Scotland and England and Wales and Ireland has to be the most wokest and fucking beyond authoritarian place on the planet. Like, it's he's got a non-hate crime incident for whistling Bob the Builder at someone. Like, what the fuck is that? I hope someone invades us at this point. Just fucking carpet bomb the UK.
Sent a data subject access request to Police Scotland. As a result, police documentation revealed that the police accepted that at no point had Angus used offensive language.
Yeah, because the 2 people who the police officer claimed put the offence in was probably those 2 people, and they just classified themselves as citizens, concerned citizens of verbal hate. Oh, I cannot imagine anyone on this planet being willing to be offended over oxygen particles bouncing off each other. Like, it's fucking mental.
Or broken the law.
Does he have?
However, the police defended their arrest of Angus and the recording of it.
Do you remember when I said they're willing to die on a hill over the most microscopic thing? Ta-da!
Hate incident against him. So, with the support of the Christian Institute, Angus sued Police Scotland. His legal action was successfully settled out of court. The police paid him £5,500 in compensation for the 70 minutes of unlawful detention.
I'm just going to pause it right here. This is pretty much the end of the video. I'll wrap up in a second. But see, if you want free money, do the most innocent thing in public that is blatantly not a crime. Let the police arrest you. Free money all day long. There was a man who had a license to fly a drone and he was wanting to film the architecture in his area. And the police came storming out of the police station near that, charged the man, got absolutely fucking offended, arrested them instantly, and he got like over 10k and is planning to sue them again. Like, this is happening throughout the UK and even at places like America. And again, I would imagine in a lot of other countries where people are just getting beyond blatantly arrested, having, you know, potentially their lives ruined and distressed. And if you go, I've been through something like this before, right? And it takes months, if not years, for all that anger and all that adrenaline ready for a fight to the death to go away. It ruins you, it really does. And all of this over the most petty shit imaginable. Yeah, if this ever happens to you, just let them do it. Let them violate your human rights as much as possible. They just fucking sue the shit out of them. As some people might say, it's a GTA 5 unlimited money glitch. And this is happening on arguably a daily basis as well in the UK.
They have also paid £9,400 in legal costs.
Also, do you know, by the way, I'm not going against the preacher here in any way, shape or form. Fucking too right, he got that money and all his legal costs were paid too right. But see, all that money the UK police, or the Scottish police in this case, to be a bit more precise, just lost. That's taxpayers' money. Do you think that's coming out of the police officers' wallets? Fucking no. Taxpayers' money. All of this didn't also just destroy this guy, arguably. Yeah, that's money out of the taxpayers' pocket, so yeah, just thought I'd add that one.
And they deleted the hate incident recorded against his name.
I'm surprised. Oh, I again fucking contradicting, like, oh, even though we got taken to court, we still agree with the non-hate crime incident. We've removed the hate crime incident.
If you would like to support the...
So yeah, this was the YouTube channel. I'll show it right here very quickly. It is the Christian Institute. This is, thank you very much for the video, greatly appreciate it. But oh my god, this is pain. By the way, I would really like to clarify, this is not in any way, shape or form an extreme rarity that happens here in the UK. This is a day-to-day, and it's starting to become a plethora on a day-to-day basis. The police are not meant to take political sides because that is suicidally dangerous. They're all beyond extremist left-wing fucking mentally ill people. Again, lesbian Anna, I know I keep bringing it up, but fucking case in point with her whatsoever. I do not trust the police in any way, shape or form, and I will never phone them or ask for help from them whatsoever. Fuck them. I think it is more dangerous being near the police than some local razor gangs in Glasgow, because at least razor gangs probably just look you up and down and just tell you to fuck off. The police will try and arrest you, intimidate you, and even assault you if you give them any slight of a reason to go down that path whatsoever. Again, I still think Scotland is going to try to out China the Hut, because I think that the way Scotland's gone with the SNP in charge and also that's Humza Yusuf, the fucking Mr. Bean of Scotland, essentially, is I think they're deliberately trying to go down the path of legalising paedophilia, essentially. I made a whole video on this, that's why I'm talking about it. That was my previous video. And they're also running down the path of just being the most authoritarian pieces of shit, and I do see Scotland being worse than China in the future as well. And again, evidence like this just keeps getting stronger and stronger as well. This was, I think, 2-ish years ago. A lot's happened in those 2 years as well, so I think Count Dankula said in a podcast or an interview recently with an American, I think from Texas, saying that he loves his country, he wants to defend it, he wants to get Scotland back and great again. However, if he ever sees the day where people start getting lifted in droves and start disappearing and we never hear from them again, like what they do in China, he's fleeing the country and taking his whole family with him for their own safety, and I think Scotland will definitely get down that path. And we are just seeing the open beta stage of that right now from a gamer's perspective. But yeah, I'll wrap the video up there. I again, literally arrested for not committing a crime. guess I'm a wanted war criminal then. But yeah, thank you very much. This is my longest video ever, over 30 minutes. So again, if you've watched to the end, greatly appreciated. If you could like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, it would be greatly appreciated. There'll be a link to my Twitter at rant-A-holic in the description as well, along with a link to this exact video if you want to read it all in one go without me interrupting it throughout this entire video as well. Leave a comment down below if you've had any similar experiences or you want me to talk about things that have been happening like this in the UK or even America. I would like to start doing American news as well. So just leave me a comment down below as well. If anything, I'll respond to it. Whether it's a positive, neutral, negative, or completely off topic, I'll reply to it in the comment section ASAP. But yeah, thank you very much for the support. Greatly appreciated. I love you all, and as always, keep on rolling. And remember, don't trust the UK police. They are not here to protect and serve the people. They are now here to protect and serve the government's best interest, which means you as the UK citizen are now the enemy of the government. Therefore, you're now the enemy of the... But yeah, have fun sleeping. Bye.